Am I in the wrong for cropping my sister-in-law out of my wedding photos after she said that she looked fat? My wife, 27 female, and I, 28 male, recently got married and it was amazing. The wedding was set on a riverside farm, so we had photo shoots outside on the fields before the ceremony. We started taking photos around noon and my sister-in-law, 30 female, was one of the bridesmaids. Sister-in-law has always been a negative person since I met her, always trying to make small judgmental comments, while my wife is an incredibly kind person. They have very different personalities, so I never question why they aren't close and assume that my sister-in-law was included in her group of bridesmaids to appease my wife's parents. Because sister-in-law and my wife have never been close, she was at the end of the line of bridesmaids and usually was at the edges of the group photos. While taking the photos, sister-in-law was the only person complaining about things like the sunny weather and how her dress was absorbing heat. I don't know much about dresses, but it was about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Most people in the photo shoot group ignored her comments, and it wasn't an issue for the rest of the day. We got the photos of both the shoot and the ceremony from the photographer 3 weeks after the wedding. We promptly sent the photos to the people in the photo shoot and told them that we plan on using the photos on social media. Most people thanked us for the photos, but my sister-in-law called my wife and was very angry, yelling that she looked like a fat pig in every photo she was in and demanded that we not use any of the photos with her in them. For context, sister-in-law is bigger than my wife, but not to an extreme extent. She doesn't look unhealthy and I've never heard her have body issues before, but I admittedly wouldn't know much about it. In the wedding photos, she really doesn't look any different from her normal self. My wife tried to reason with her, saying that she looks just as pretty as everyone else, but sister-in-law did not want to hear it. She reiterated that if we use any of the photos on social media, that she would never speak to us again and would put us on blast, whatever that means. My wife was really hurt by my sister's outburst, and I was very bothered that she thought that she could tell us what to do with our special moment. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I decided that if she had such a problem, she didn't need to be in the photos. I cropped her out and posted those versions to social media. I thought it would be fine and it was easy since she was at the edge anyway. After posting, she then called me even angrier than before and accused me of trying to erase her from the memory of the wedding. I told her that I only did it to accommodate her wishes while also getting to use our own wedding photos. She hasn't talked to us in a week, and my wife's parents are mad at us for upsetting her. While my wife is on my side, she thinks that I could have been more mature about it. I don't think I did anything wrong and accommodated her already unreasonable request. So, am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for exploding at my friend for not feeding my dog for a week because they believed a water fast was healthy? I need to vent and get some perspective on something that has me absolutely livid. I recently went on a week-long business trip and asked my friend, who I'll call Jane, to pet sit my dog, Max. Jane has always seemed responsible and claims to love animals, so I trusted her without hesitation. I left detailed, explicit instructions on Max's feeding schedule, his favorite treats, and how to take care of him. I even stocked up on his favorite food and treats to ensure that there would be no issues. When I returned, I immediately noticed something was wrong. Max was unusually lethargic, his ribs were more pronounced, and he looked generally unwell. Alarm bells went off in my head, so I confronted Jane about what had happened. To my utter disbelief, she nonchalantly told me that she hadn't fed Max any food the entire week because she decided to put him on a water fast, claiming she read somewhere that it's supposedly healthy for dogs. I was absolutely horrified. Jane, who has no veterinary training or knowledge, took it upon herself to ignore my clear instructions and subjected Max to what is essentially starvation. She calmly explained that she thought that she was doing him a favor by letting his system detox. I couldn't contain my anger and exploded at her, screaming that what she did was incredibly dangerous and irresponsible. Jane then had the audacity to get defensive, saying I was overreacting and that her intentions were good. I rushed Max to the vet, and thankfully, he's on the mend, but the vet confirmed that the week-long lack of food could have caused severe health issues. I'm beyond angry and feel deeply betrayed by Jane. She has since apologized, but still insists that she thought she was doing the right thing. Am I in the wrong for exploding at her for not feeding Max, even though I thought my instructions were clear enough? Am I in the wrong for completely canceling my stepdaughter's birthday bash and leaving her with nothing after I broke up with her dad? I, 43 female, broke up with my ex, Charlie, male 42, last spring, after finding out that he cheated with his ex, Sandy, female 34. We were together for 3 years, in which I was a very committed stepmother to his kid, Sarah, 17. She and I never acted like mother-daughter, but I was the go-to adult when she had problems or needed anything because she and her mom don't get along, and my ex would try to help, but his solutions weren't very effective. 1.5 years ago, I completed a very ambitious project for a large company. I started getting paid, but bonuses and royalties only came in this year upon launching. I was so happy and so grateful that I opened accounts for my kids. I decided to give Sarah the birthday party that she wanted. She wanted a pajama party for 25 people with big bash, fancy cake, balloons, a DJ, and to go along with her friends to stay in a hotel out of town. This would be for her 18th birthday. So I set up a savings account under my main bank account. Charlie ended up asking me to help him fund a business idea, but I declined for a variety of reasons. We were not married and I preferred to go solo. His business idea sucked because he was inventing the wheel and I would be funding everything. We ended up closing the conversation because he got angry and said that he needed a helpful partner by his side, and I responded that I was not taught to give men my money. I know I was harsh and I apologized. I began to feel very insecure when Charlie started to criticize my makeup and my personal style. He also praised other women to my face and I felt horrible. Early in the relationship, we had issues because of his communication with Sandy, his ex, which resulted in him promising to cut her off. Fast forward and I began to notice that Sandy was very active in the family's social media. She gave likes and commented a lot, so I asked him if they were still in contact because it just didn't make any sense. he denied it. I went on a 10-day business trip and our communication was very off. He would only take my calls until early in the night and became very vague about his daily activities. I couldn't reach him at all for 2 nights on several days apart. He sounded weird when we finally talked, so I lied about having to delay my return for a few days and arrived one day earlier instead. I came home to find used condoms in the trash. My world was shattered and I threw up. His face changed when he saw me at home. He also claimed to have been at his mother's house until late. I said I was sick when he asked what was going on and didn't mention anything, but he rushed to take out the trash and do the laundry. I got into his phone, I know it's wrong, and found hundreds of messages from his ex, pictures, voicemails, and conversations like they had never broken up. He consulted her about things, told her about his day, etc. Then I found a family chat that made me sick. He, Sarah, and Sandy spent a whole 2 days at a camping site last year when I went to visit family, and there were pictures from last Christmas with his ex at his mother's house. Obviously, he had a full-blown relationship behind my back and his entire family was aware of it. I directly confronted him and he tried to deny it until I laid one of his voicemails. I couldn't take the humiliation, so I moved out weeks later. I closed the bank account for the birthday bash and kept the money for myself. I cut everyone off, including his kid. He reached out to me and pleaded with me not to take away Sarah's birthday celebration. I never replied. I know she's a teenager and she has no control over her dad's actions, but she seems awfully comfortable in her pictures with his ex and I feel extremely betrayed. Also, there's no way in hell that I'm funding a party that I'm not going to attend for obvious reasons. And I don't want to contribute to a celebration so that his shitty family could eat and drink on my dime. Sarah's mom always had separate celebrations for her and her gift was supposed to be a camping trip. My ex's family cannot afford the celebration unless they saved way in advance. My best friend says that maybe I can send Sarah a gift if I find it in myself to forgive her actions, but I don't feel like it. His sister sent me a voicemail the other day asking me to please don't turn my back on her niece. I feel awful because I know that this is Sarah's dream, but I'm too disgusted to back out of my decision. Also, the ex that he cheated with is not Sarah's mom. She's just an ex and much younger. Am I overreacting after I asked my boyfriend why he won't take me on dates anymore and he listed a bunch of things that he doesn't like about me? My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, female 28, have been together for almost 5 years. We have a pretty good relationship and we genuinely enjoy each other's company. No major problems at all this entire time. For the past year or so, however, he is not taking me out on a real date. He only ever just wants to do something simple like walk around the mall or order food and watch movies at home. I've been making date night or trip suggestions for months and he never shoots them down, but he just kind of moves past it without taking it seriously. Well, I finally became a bit upset and asked him why he doesn't ever make plans for dates or want to do anything romantic with me. It's really been making me question the relationship and hurt my self-esteem. He became pretty frustrated and basically listed out a bunch of things that he doesn't like about me. This was the gist of it. I don't try to dress nice when we go out, even though I dress up to go out with my friends. I don't ever wear makeup or do anything with my hair when I'm with him. I don't watch my weight. I don't clean up around our apartment. I have been neglecting him sexually. I sleep all day. I never cook for him. I force him to do all of the chores. I never want to try to do any of the stuff that he likes to do with him. And the last one, which really pissed me off, it's not like I'm going to come home and get my D sucked afterwards anyway. His words. We haven't been speaking very much since. I feel so hurt, especially about the weight comment. I've been struggling with my weight and I'm about 40 pounds heavier than when we started dating. During this relationship, he's gained much more weight than me, like 100 pounds. But he started working out 2 years ago and now he's in great shape. This has been an insecurity of mine for a while, but this is the first time that he's ever made a comment about my weight before. Everything he said just feels so shallow and like he only cares about my looks and my body. I just need some advice, please.
Am I wrong for not taking back pajamas my boyfriend's girl best friend wore? The past weekend, my boyfriend and I joined his friends for a weekend getaway at a cabin. There were 5 people in total. Me, him, a male friend, his girlfriend, and my boyfriend's girl best friend. So 2 couples and a single girl. Got it. I've never liked his girl best friend because she gives pick-me vibes and I think she either has a crush on my boyfriend or she likes the attention. She doesn't like me either. I remain very cordial to her. When we arrived at the cabin, she told my boyfriend that she hadn't packed any pajamas and none of her clothes were appropriate since they get dirty. She couldn't wear the other girls' clothes because they wouldn't fit, so she begged my boyfriend to give me my pajamas since I always pack extra. Without asking me, he gave her my pajamas. So I came out of the shower to find her wearing my pajamas and with the bottom basically shoved all the way up her crack. Spent the entire weekend lounging in my PJs. When the weekend was over, she tried to give them back to me, and I said that she could keep them. She got mad at me and asked if I thought she was dirty or had cooties. I said she could just keep them since it seemed like she liked them a lot. She called me a mean girl and said I was being rude. It ruined the mood since the other friends took her side while his girlfriend took mine, and my boyfriend had to take my side. And now things are really awkward, and I think I might be iced out by my boyfriend's friends. Am I the asshole? I found out that my girlfriend has been sleeping with her boss. My head has been spinning since last night and I don't really know what my next moves are. Some background info. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years. No kids, but we moved into a new place in October and signed a 1-year lease. I'm 30 and she's 28. About a year ago, she started working at this new job that she absolutely loves. It pays good and she's made some new friends there. In December, during their office Christmas party, I got to meet her boss for the first time, and it was very obvious to me and probably anyone with eyes he's attracted to her. It made me uncomfortable, but she didn't give him any more attention than she did anyone else, so I didn't think anything more about it. Last month, she got a raise, a significant one that even she was surprised about. She said she spoke to her boss and he said it's for her performance. She accepted that answer. I didn't. I told her he's obviously attracted to her and that's why she got this raise. She got angry and accused me of saying she doesn't work hard. We had a huge fight about it and I ended up spending the night on the couch. We didn't speak for 2 days and I ended up apologizing but asked her to just watch out for this guy. On Friday, we had gone to a friend's house for drinks and dinner and my girlfriend kept checking her phone and whispering with one of her girlfriends. I got a sinking feeling but tried to ignore it because I didn't want to cause a scene in front of our friends. On the way home, I asked her who kept texting her all night and she said a friend from work. And when I asked who, she said, "Why does that matter?" and got really defensive, so again, I dropped it. Saturday morning while she was still sleeping, I decided to go through her phone and I found hundreds of text messages between her and her boss. Very inappropriate text messages and pictures. Honestly, I wanted to throw up. I took a couple of screenshots and looked at the conversations with a friend from the party who knows this has been going on and was just gutted. She told her friend he's the best she's ever been with. They talked about how the initial raise was to get her interest and he's been giving her bonuses. And apparently most, if not everyone at the office knows about them sleeping together. I took screenshots of everything and deleted the proof that I sent them to myself. I haven't confronted her about anything yet. I can't even look at her right now. I know she knows something is wrong, but she isn't talking to me either. I know the only logical answer is to break up with her, but I have a lease that I can't afford on my own. I don't know what to do.